Have you heard the story about devices implanted in the brain so that brains can communicate with machines, with computers? In today's episode, I will talk about Elon Musk's Neuralink and ask a question to which I don't know the answer. Is progress worth the price? Elon Musk, operating at the intersection of science, industry, and new technologies, is a great visionary and innovator. Essentially, I don't know anyone who refers to him in a neutral manner. He either has fierce enemies or devoted followers. Regardless of personal sympathies, one cannot deny him a long list of achievements. Musk sends private rockets into space, rockets that can land themselves, provides internet and electric cars, stands behind one of the most popular online payment systems, and recently also bought Twitter, which wasn't exactly a great success. As if that wasn't enough, he digs tunnels and sells flamethrowers. Projects managed by Elon Musk or endorsed by him have often dug tunnels in our imagination, breaking through to places we often didn't even dare to think about. For example, to the Neuralink project, operating in the field of neurotechnology. The main goal of this project is to develop a brain implant or chip that will be a key component of the brain-computer or brain-machine interface. One of the biggest fears we can imagine is having a lifeless, useless body with a completely functional brain. There are also many diseases that are very debilitating because, despite a functioning body, the brain is unable to properly process all the information and properly manage that body. And here comes technology, specifically the brain-machine interface or control system. Neuralink on a white horse, courtesy of Elon Musk. A few weeks ago, the company obtained authorization from the Food and Drug Administration, also known as the FDA, to carry out a multitude of studies involving human subjects. After a number of years of different disruptions, Musk has ultimately accomplished his objective. The consent has been granted despite the fact that previous animal studies have not been without problems and significant controversies, and it is safe to say that this is quite an understatement. In labs where devices were tested on animals, there were supposed to be chilling practices, which resulted in the unnecessary suffering of animals and even their mistreatment. Out of 23 monkeys used in one of the experiments, 15 died. I will spare you the descriptions because honestly I don't want anyone to report my channel and have it closed. But if it is true what is found in the leaked documents, there were practices in the laboratories like from horror movies. The reasons were negligence, ignoring standards, and also the fact that the devices were not perfect. They were far from perfect. For example, the chips in the heads of some monkeys simply overheated. They also discussed all of this among themselves, Neuralink staff. They accused management of applying excessive pressure on them. The experiments, conducted hastily, caused unnecessary suffering in animals and tragically resulted in death for the majority of the experimental monkeys involved in the study. On the internet, you can find professionally conducted investigations, for example. Groups of doctors from the Committee for Responsible Medicine. They created a dedicated website where you can learn about hundreds of photos documenting the cruelty with which animals were treated in experiments conducted by the Neuralink organization. Moreover, these experiments were conducted at the University of California. In many cases, suffering animals had to be euthanized as unsuitable for further research. Neuralink was also accused of transporting pathogens employed for scientific research without adequate safety measures in place. During the December press conference, Elon Musk showcased pigs that had implanted chips. He also displayed brain activity readings, but specialists then concluded that they were not revolutionary, as such readings had been available for decades. Neuralink obtained permission to conduct tests on humans. Brain-computer interface is not an idea originated by Elon Musk. The human brain demonstrates bioelectrical activity, which can be analyzed through EEG imaging technology. Research on brain electrical activity has been ongoing for 100 years. After years since the discovery and registration of brain bioelectricity, the game is about something else. specifically in order to have the capability to accurately analyze brain function and consequently have the capability to manipulate different devices, not only for fun, entertainment or convenience, but also for situations where a person with a functioning brain is trapped in a helpless body. Why do we implant a brain implantation when we can place sensors on the skin surface? Thanks to the implant, we are able to read electrical signals from the brain much more accurately because they have, in short, fewer barriers to overcome on the way to the sensor, such as one placed on the skin. Undoubtedly, there are numerous complications associated with the heating of the implant, the movement of its components, the formation of ulcers in the surrounding tissues, or generally related to mechanical and biological damage during the installation and removal of such a device. The implant consists, among others, integrated circuit threads with electrodes, or so-called printed circuit board assembly, PCBA board, on which electronic components are mounted. Have such integrated circuits previously processed images, extracted cryptocurrencies, or controlled phones? Will disabled people be able to control their own bodies with them now? And will the next step be implanting implants in healthy people to increase the capabilities of their brains? Neuralink, of course, produces not only the implants, but also the entire technological infrastructure associated with them. The company already has a ready-made implanting robot, a surgical robot, and is also working on its own clinic in Texas. The involvement of Elon Musk in the topic of brain implants guarantees that the work on such solutions will accelerate and progress at a faster pace. After the positive FDA decision, investors' interest is growing, and Neuralink is increasing its value on the market. Just a question, how about safety? Elon Musk stated that he is so confident in his technologies that he is even willing to implant brain implants himself, even to their own children. For now, the first person to have Neuralink implanted will be a certain disabled man. Here I ask the question from the start, how much can progress cost? Do we have the right to deprive disabled people of hope for improving their fate? Maybe these questions are not correctly asked at all. Maybe progress doesn't have to cost anything. Perhaps it does not necessarily have to be linked with suffering or environmental costs in any way.